Welcome back to another highly anticipated episode of Fumbles and Floaters. I'm Blake.
Bobby Buckets.
Let's get right to it. Week 13, right?
Week 13. Some good games this week. Some good games, some
Yes.
some games that shouldn't have been good that were good, but
Yep.
let's jump into it. The first game we got the Saints at the Falcons. This actually probably wasn't one of the good
I
games,
know. I
but
was like, that's a bad segue.
this game, I mean, pretty much the Saints control the game. The Falcons coming off smacking the Raiders. And the Saints are now 10-2. They're first in the NFC right now. They would get the bye. I think they're a game above the Packers, I believe.
Mhm.
So, and I mean, something that's not being talked about. They haven't had Breeze for a few weeks. I don't think they've lost a game.
Yeah, they haven't. Whenever you're talking, I wasn't listening to anything you're saying. I was just thinking about. I'm just playing. No, I was thinking about. It just goes to show how good their defense and special teams are. I mean, their
Yeah,
offense too, of course, but they have a really they just have a really good team. But we've said this like the past 4 years in the regular season, and when it gets time to playoffs, they always end up fumbling something. So, um, yeah, I'm 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 cautiously optimistic, I guess. Also,
yeah. No one really talks about their defense enough. I feel like because they've been really good all year.
yeah,
Um, and they just don't really get love, obviously, because before they've always had a really good offense.
hmm
Um, but they held the Falcons to 9 points through three quarters, and they got like a late touchdown. But um, Hill had a solid game. He threw two touchdowns. But when you go from Drew Brees to Taysom Hill, who's pretty much a tight end, they use him as a running back, everything but a quarterback, and he comes in and he can lead your team. That shows that you have a good foundation. So
yeah,
as for the Falcons, I mean, I don't know how you go from smacking the Raiders to struggling. But that's the Falcons for you.
yeah. It's. I mean, yeah, the Falcons are weird, man. I mean, we always talk about it, but it's crazy because they have good. They have a good
Great
team.
players.
Like, we got Julio and Ridley as your top two receivers. You're set, but
Yeah.
I
You
don't know.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next game, this was supposed to be a really good game. We have the Browns and the Titans.
Yeah.
And the Browns, surprisingly, I think no one expected the Browns just come out and
No.
punch the Titans right in the, like hit them right in the throat and
Yeah. I
just
was like,
dropped them.
I don't know what body part you're gonna go for.
They came out, they were up 38-7 at half.
Yeah.
Titans came back and like made it a game. Like if you just seen the box score, but they were up 38-7 at half. Baker threw four touchdowns, 334 yards, probably his best game of the season by far.
Yeah.
And Titans, they just didn't like. I don't know. I did not expect them to get punched like that. Like, what's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah. I didn't either. And it was weird because, I mean, I don't think the Titans necessarily looked bad. Their defense was looking. Well, I guess I would say their defense was looking bad, but I mean, I don't know. It never felt like they were out of it, but I feel like it's props to the Browns. They looked pretty damn good, and
Yeah,
I don't think they have a huge glaring weakness on their team. It's like every position they have is not great or amazing, but it's good. Like, but one thing I will say is their offensive line looks damn good. They were
yeah,
like Baker had all the time in the world to throw
yeah. It was like I was stunned when I was just
for
watching
sure.
Red Zone. I just see the Browns are up, and obviously this was a big game for them because they've had like a light schedule.
Yeah,
Um, and like this could be a playoff game, and you just see them
for
just
sure.
punch them like that. Like I said, obviously the Titans came back and made it look like respectable, but Browns had the game in the first half. Like I said, it was
Yeah,
35 to or 38 to whatever it was. So
they're
38-7. So
built like a playoff team.
yeah,
They
they
have a
run
good
the football.
defense. Yeah,
They didn't even actually have like a great running game, and they still just dominated. So and like you said,
yeah,
their defense looked good. I mean, they held the Titans to 7 points in the first half. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward how they look. when it comes to playoff. I think they've pretty much solidified a playoff spot. I mean, they probably got to win one or two more games to like clinch a spot. So
Does this make you worried about the Titans though? Because I don't know. I worry
yeah,
about their defense in the playoffs.
yeah, I definitely worry about them, and especially if they get down early, kind of like this game. Like obviously they love feeding Derrick Henry. Like how much are you going to be
Yeah,
able to feed him when you get down? And they're like Tannehill has been good, and like Brown might break one or something like that. But like you're not, if the Titans get down, you're not as confident as say if the Chiefs get down
yeah,
or even the Steelers really like they have all those weapons passing where you could see them kind of coming back. Where the Titans, you kind of want to keep that a game. So
yeah. That's true.
next game, Lions and Bears. This is actually a pretty high scoring game.
Wow.
34-30. The Lions came back from down 10 in the fourth, and Matthew Stafford had 400 plus yards. I mean,
I don't really care though. That's the thing, you know. I mean,
Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
oh my. Hey, but you know what's crazy is the Lions looked. I mean, I know it's versus the Bears, but I'm glad they fired Matt Patricia because they like
Oh
did
yeah, this
a
is this their first game without him?
first game. Yeah, I could be wrong. It's no more than their second, but it's
It
their
was
first.
recent, yeah.
It's I think it may be their first. I don't know, but they look good. Because I'm like, I don't know. They're not a terrible team. They're a 500 team. I feel like, but that may be the next step the Bears need to take. Because I mean, finding a QB too, but it's like, come on, man, like
Yeah. I
just
mean,
wasting.
Trubisky, I mean, he had a solid
Stop,
game.
dude. No,
267, one touchdown.
he looks nervous every time he's out there.
Yeah, no, this game, I mean, it's like the same level teams. Like someone has to win. They're both 5-7 now.
So,
And I feel bad for Matthew Stafford because he's a really talented quarterback.
yeah,
And I feel like his just whole career has gone wasted in Detroit. Um, and a side note, Adrian Peterson had two rushing touchdowns.
yeah, dude. I had him in fantasy earlier this year, and I dropped him. But he's had like a couple games where he scored once or twice. Not a lot of yards, but he's scoring.
Yeah, he scored twice in Thanksgiving as well. So Um, yeah, not much else for them. Next up though, Bengals and Dolphins. I mean,
What? Why you sound excited?
I mean, at the beginning of this year, you're saying these are two bad teams, but the
Yeah.
Dolphins are good. The Dolphins defense strike again. They only allow 7 points.
Strike again versus Brandon Allen. What?
I mean, their Dolphins defense, like just like
No, they're good.
they win them games. They're really good.
Yeah, they
They only
are.
get 7 points. The Bengals no Burrow. I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know. I mean, Tua had a solid game. He almost had 300 yards, one touchdown. Gaskins had 90 rushing yards. They held the Bengals to only 40 rushing yards. So I mean, their defense is good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is just props to their coach Brian Flores. Like he turned this team around, and like you said, their defense. I wouldn't be surprised if their defense is top 10 in the NFL, uh,
Oh, easily.
which is
The only
wild.
the only score the Bengals had too was a 72-yard touchdown by Tyler Boyd, and that was their 7 points. They
That
got
was
that in the
it.
first quarter. Yeah. So outside of that, their team they probably had a like barely over 100 yards. So their defense is legit, man. They're legit. That's 6 sacks in this game too.
And
So
they're still in the wild card race, aren't they?
yeah, they're in the playoffs if it ended today. They're ahead of the Raiders and they're ahead of the Ravens. So
Wow,
they're legit. And they have the Texans pick, which
dude, that is
speaking speaking of the Texans, little segue. This is
okay.
actually this is actually a pretty good game. Colts at Texans. The Colts needed this win after getting smacked by the Titans. Um, and Houston had a chance to win the game,
Yeah,
and they fumble at the 2 yard line
dude.
with a minute left. I mean, what happened here?
I don't know because this was a game last week. I projected, or not even projected. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just take on the chin. I projected that trying to find another word to get up out of there, but the Texans there was an upset ability. I felt like it was a game the Texans could have pulled off because Deshaun Watson's playing out of his mind. But that Will Fuller suspension, I think, hurts the Texans a lot. Like their receivers are doo doo. They don't have no. Don't are you
They had
trying to
two
think of?
that They had two receivers go for over 100 yards.
Dude,
You want their
still,
names?
yeah, give me their names.
We have Kiki Kute. I probably
Okay,
killed his last name.
yeah.
He had 8 receptions, 141 yards. And then this one, I know you know him, Chad Hansen.
Dude, I went to school with Chad. He actually, we're in chess club together, dude. What are you talking about? No, I don't care about these players. That's wild, though, man.
You
Chad
know,
Hansen, is that a real name? That sounds like a made up like a generic like a Lego name from like the Lego movie.
you don't know Chad Hansen? His career?
He went to
Here's career
Coastal
stats.
Carolina, didn't he?
You want to hear
What?
his career stats? Four, 14
Dude.
14 receptions, 195 yards.
Okay,
I think
so
he had half those yards in that
that's what
game.
I was about to say. This is the biggest game of his career, and here we are joking about this man. He probably took the game ball home. Dude, that's wild.
No, but they literally fumbled a snap at the 2 yard line, about to score to they could have took the lead.
Dude,
Like,
it's
and the shot there, I don't know if they thought like if they thought they're about to pull what the Jets did versus the Raiders and just throw the
and they're
game
like,
so
oh,
they
we
can
don't
get
have
the
our
pick.
pick.
But then they don't have their pick, so they threw it anyway.
Like, oh, we probably shouldn't have did that. Dude, that is so sad they don't have their pick. Every time I hear it, it just makes me sad for Deshaun Watson. I'm like, this season literally is for nothing. That's terrible.
And it helps the Dolphins though.
It does. It helps. There's a couple factors here. Yes, helps the Dolphins. The Dolphins next year could be a playoff 2 years in a row. That's wild. Texans, they need to not waste Deshaun Watson's prime because he's playing like a top five QB right now. And then three, I think it was a good win for the Colts. They're still in the race, right?
Yeah. Let me
We're
look at the standings real quick. I want to see because the wild card right now, you have the Dolphins at 8-4, or
mhm,
the Browns at 9-3. Actually, their
the
first
top
wild
wild
card.
card. Yeah.
And then you got Dolphins and Colts tied at 8-4, and then right behind you have the Ravens at I believe they're 7-5,
Yeah, it sounds right.
and then the Raiders are 7-5. So, and then you have the Patriots like 6-6 creeping up. So, um,
Wow.
it's a tight race, and we'll get
Yeah.
into it later. But there's some big games this week that kind of affect that. So,
Yep.
um, but moving forward to the next game, another great, fun action packed game. Jags at Vikings. It actually was a good game. It went to overtime, and let's just say it. It's Jefferson, the rookie of the year. He-
Yeah, I don't know who else could be.
I mean, he had another 100-yard receiving game. Um, and Herbert we'll get into it later, but he had a terrible game. And Burrow's out for the year. So, I mean, there's a chance that Jefferson gets
Yeah.
it. I mean, he's been really good.
So what's crazy about Jefferson is watching him in college. I mean, I didn't watch like every damn game he played, and I'm not gonna act like I'm some expert, but I could just like I had a feeling. I drafted him in fantasy. I had a feeling he was like an NFL receiver,
Mhm.
and it makes the Vikings not look so crazy after trading Diggs. I've been hearing that a lot
Yeah.
lately, and I agree with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
He he's stepped in and he looks damn good, and I don't think anybody predicted him to be Rookie of the Year. So. I mean, the Vikings are creeping back up surprisingly because they've had a pretty rough year, given how I mean they have a talented team, um, but I mean the Jaguars should be excited, right? I mean
They
they're in the
almost were
running.
if the Jets would have won.
I know, but they at the worst they get Justin Fields from Ohio State, who's damn good. So
Yeah. I mean, Mike Glennon, I could see him being the future
the
of
future of
the
what
practice squad.
custodial work? Okay, no, the future of the
No,
press.
no, but yeah, no, Jefferson's been great. 9 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. I think he's probably the front runner after. I mean, him or probably Herbert. I'm assuming. Um, like you could throw in there if he kind of gets the numbers up, but it's kind of tough. I think Jefferson's been really good. Um, and the Vikings, like you said, they creeped up. I forget who we talked about. They dropped a game that kind of is haunting them right now to someone they shouldn't have
The
dropped.
Cowboys beat them.
It was the Cowboys game. Exactly who it was. It was the Cowboys game. They dropped to the Cowboys. If they win that game right now, they're 7-5.
Because
So
they've won
right
like their
now,
last three or something before that.
that before, yeah. So now they're
Or
like
after
probably like
that.
they're probably like 5 of their last 6. I think it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Dang, that
So
sucks.
yeah, so that game could haunt them, but they're starting to figure it out. Obviously, Dalvin Cook is amazing.
Hmm.
So Kirk Cousins, I mean, I guess he's figuring out. I mean, Thielen and Jefferson, like that's two
Yeah,
good weapons right there. So
for
this
sure.
game too was a sloppy kicking game. There was like 3 missed field goals by both kickers and like 3 missed extra points combined. So like, um,
But I feel like we're talking about the Jaguars every week and being in close
they're
games that
always
they
in the
that they
closest
shouldn't be
games.
in. It's weird.
Never. They shouldn't at all. But they're fighters.
Yeah, I mean that's good news. They're yeah, it's good
All right,
news.
next up, another game that shouldn't have been close, but was the Raiders at the
Ooh,
Jets.
let's go JTS baby. You wearing the green?
I'm wearing the green because the Jets gave us this game. I mean, we got to talk about it. Greg Williams. The Raiders are 46 yards from the end zone with like 20 seconds left. I think no timeouts.
Dude.
And usually, you're like, okay, they need a touchdown, so let's go prevent defense. Not they need a field goal, not they need
Yeah.
2 points. I need a touchdown. And he calls an all-out blitz.
Engage 8, is that what they call it?
Yeah, they run engage 8 with Henry Ruggs, one of the fastest receivers. You got Henry Ruggs out there, and you're like, yeah, hey, man up, you got him.
Good luck.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh, they throw the game. I'm telling you, they threw the game. They want that. They want Trevor Lawrence, man. And they fire Greg.
Dude.
No, I don't.
Dude.
I don't know like what happened, and I don't know why. Like I don't know if they're like, listen, all right, you're gonna call this blitz, and we're gonna fire you after this game. Like this is your last. Like I know it looks bad, but we need this number 1 pick. Or if he was like, you know what, let's blitz him. Like let's blitz him and
Like you
throw this.
really thought it was a good idea? Oh.
No, or that. There's that
It's
option.
like,
He thought
hey,
it was
this could
gonna.
work.
Let's
Yo,
try it.
well, I wonder what Adam Gase was thinking when he heard that through the headset. Like Greg was like, "Hey, Adam, I think we're gonna do an engage 8 right here." And this man was like, "Huh?" Bro, Henry Ruggs had like the fastest 40 at the combine or something
Oh
last
yeah, he
season.
did. Yeah, that's why the Raiders
So
drafted
that
him.
doesn't make any sense. It's
Maybe
wild.
they're just trying to build some character for their corners. Like, all right, listen, we're 0-10, 0-11, whatever we are. Let's see if you can guard Henry Ruggs one on
God,
one.
like they're at the damn Pro Bowl, like doing, dude, that's so demoralizing. That
But
sucks.
side note, the Raiders, I don't know, they've looked bad the last couple weeks. We didn't have Jacobs this game, but one good thing, Waller went crazy. He had 13 receptions, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Just
Oh,
dominated the Jets. But I don't know how the Jets were in this game. Like they, I don't know. Raiders,
the
we've been
Raiders got to
terrible.
step it up the next couple weeks.
I mean, yeah, we were in a really good spot and we just get blasted by the Falcons, and it's like, come on, like there's no way. But and that was right after we played well against the Chiefs after we had
Like,
already beat them.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what it is. Like we played down to our competition, which not going to make you a playoff team.
Oh,
But next up, I mean, another team you could say playing down to their competition, Giants Seahawks.
yeah.
I mean, the Seahawks drop another game. They lose to the Giants. This is actually a big game for the Giants. They're still tied for first in their division
Washington, dude.
with Washington, who I think Washington, I mean, had looked better, but they're out there with Colt McCoy.
Dude, Go McCoy. Dude, do you see every time he takes off his helmet, he has that big ass red strip across his forehead? He looked like a Lego. I'm
That's how
like,
Eli
dude,
Manning was.
I know.
All right, but tell me this. So we talk about how bad the Seahawks defense has been all year, blah, blah, blah. But Colt McCoy, I mean, the Giants ran the football well against them. Gulliman had 135 rushing yards, but Colt McCoy only had 105 passing yards.
Yeah.
They only put up 17 points, and the first half score was 5-0 Seahawks. And Seattle only scores 12 points in the game. I mean, Russell Wilson has been struggling lately. Like, what's up with Seattle, man? Like, what's up with them?
Dude, I don't even know because Russ was the MVP about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they picked a really bad time to start sucking because they look bad. Like Russ, I don't even know. He just is throwing some things and taking sacks that like a veteran he shouldn't be taking because he's still a top 3, 5 QB in the league. Um, and I don't even know what it is because it wasn't their defense that lost them this game. It was low
Yeah, they only
key.
scored 17.
It was their offense and it was coaching. Like some of their play calls are really just baffling. And as much as I like Pete Carroll, this tends to happen with them where they just play like close games all year um, and I don't know if they keep playing like this in the playoffs, they can get popped, and they're gonna get popped by a team we wouldn't expect them to get beat by. Like I don't know who that is, but even if it's not one of the top teams, another team that's younger and hungrier and things like that, they're gonna pop them because um, yeah, I don't know what's going on. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, they're still tied for first in the NFC West. So like they'll still probably make the playoffs, but they just don't look like the beginning of the year, like they look like their offense is probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah,
Metcalf was going crazy, Lock was going crazy, and now like I don't know if teams have figured them out. I mean, they had Carson back and their run game still just not getting it going. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, they'll make playoffs, but they they could be a first round exit.
yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Next up though, keep it in the NFC West. Rams Cardinals. I mean, the Rams pretty much controlled this whole game. The Cardinals have, like, just like we talked about the Seahawks, that's starting to look bad.
Yeah,
The Cardinals are starting to lose games. Their offense, another example of their offense supposed to be high powered, and they haven't really been getting it going. Kyler had under 200 passing yards this game. I mean, he was just above 50% completion percentage, and they lose 38-28 versus the Rams. The Rams pretty much controlled the game though. So I mean, what's your thoughts on this game?
yeah, pretty much just what you said. It's eerily similar to the Seahawks. Like Kyler again was in the MVP discussion like 5 weeks ago, and now, yeah, I think you said it. I think teams are either figuring them out or I don't know what it is, but what gives me hope with the Cardinals is they're ahead of schedule. So um,
Yeah.
even if they this year is a first round exit or they barely missed the playoffs, you're still hopeful. With the Seahawks, you're like, hey, we only got so many more years of Russell Wilson. I mean, they shouldn't be playing like this. He's a veteran. Kyler's still in his second year, third year, um,
Second year, I believe.
second year. Yeah, so that's the good news on that front. But I mean, I know we've been Rams have looked up and down, but I think the Rams are built for the playoffs. Though I mean, Jared Goff is the worst out of the QBs besides Mullins or whatever the hell his name is. But their defense is damn good, and their receivers are great. I I trust them the most in the playoffs as of now because of coaching too. So I mean,
Yeah.
and this was a game we circled last week, where I mean it was a big game for the NFC West.
Yeah. Obviously, now Rams are tied for first in the NFC West.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals are now back 2 games. I think they're tied for the last wild card spot. We can talk about standings after we get through the games, but
Mm-hmm.
um, Robert Woods and Cooper Cup have been really good. They
Yeah,
combined for 18 receptions this game. And their running game, they had a solid running game. They had 120 rushing yards as a team this game. Obviously, you never know who's the running back that's going to break out
for
for
real.
them with
Yeah,
Henderson, Akers, and Malcolm Brown. But Jared Goff threw for 351 yards, and obviously their defense, like you said, is amazing with Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. So they're definitely built for the playoffs. Um, I don't obviously see them. I don't have them above like. I mean, right now in the NFC seems like it's up for grabs. Like if I had to put money on a team going in the playoffs, I would probably put the Packers just because Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
yeah.
And they have like a good running game as well with Aaron Jones and
Mm-hmm.
even Jamal Williams. But obviously, your defensive wise though, you don't trust the Packers defense like you do the Rams.
Yeah.
but you don't trust Jared Goff like Aaron
Exactly.
Rodgers. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
trade-off. And then like the best team right now is the Saints. So it's like, they have their question marks, obviously, with, is Drew Brees going to be back and stuff like that. The
Hmm.
Seahawks have their question marks. I mean, whoever wins the NFC uh East, I mean,
It's gonna be a tough.
exactly.
They're gonna be a tough one in the
Exactly.
playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, apparently the Giants. And then what's the other thing? The Buccaneers, obviously they have their question marks as well.
Oh, dude, I'd be forgetting about them. They had a bye week, right?
Yeah, so like
Okay,
there's a lot of
that's why.
question marks in the NFC compared to
There
the
are.
AFC. It's kind of like, okay, the Chiefs,
Steelers are clearly the top two.
Steelers, yeah. But even then the Steelers have their question mark. But like the Chiefs, like no one wants to see the Chiefs. So
Hell no.
um but it should be fun. Next up though, I mean, Patriots Chargers. This is another one that no one's seen coming. Uh 45-0. Patriots just come out and smack the Chargers. They have two, like just smack. Like this is like the Falcons versus the Raiders last week, but times two.
It's even worse,
Because
yeah.
yeah, because literally they threw for 130 passing yards. The Patriots with between two quarterbacks, and one of them they brought in Stigma or whatever his name is, and he threw for like 60 some yards and a garbage touchdown. But they had two special team touchdowns. They blocked a field goal and returned it. I think it was right before halftime too. And then they
Yeah.
had a punt return touchdown, I believe. And I mean, to score 45 points and your quarterback, you only threw for 130 yards is almost unheard of. I mean, they ran
It's
the
like the
football
most Bill Belichick game ever, I feel like, though.
man, like that's why I mean, Bill Belichick, I know people were giving them, oh, it's Brady. I mean, they're 6-6. They didn't have the most players in the NFL report because of COVID. They signed Cam Newton to $1 million deal. They have their quarterback's making $1 million, and to think he's on a new team, new playbook, and all this, and you have COVID where it's going to be harder to like learn and like practice and stuff like that. Like it's going to
And
be a
he
lot
had
harder.
COVID.
Yeah, and he had COVID and
I'm
stuff like
like,
that,
dude.
and they're 6-6. I mean, I give credit to him. And Herbert,
Yeah.
I mean, he just had a bad game. He was under 50% completion percentage, two picks, only 209 yards. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he's been great this year, but it's just one of those games, I guess. Like I don't like this was a bad one though. This was stunning.
Yeah. I don't even really know what to say besides, I mean, the Chargers got to fire Anthony Lynn as much as I like him as, as
You
a
think fire
person
him
and
after that?
coach. I mean, not right now. I'm saying at the end of the season,
Oh, okay,
um,
okay.
because he's not like a lock. He's not like bad for the locker room like Greg Williams, the bounty hunter, or Adam Gase.
Greg Williams is probably the most
Dude,
like
he's a terrible person,
controversial coordinator or like
dude.
non-head coach or like assistant coach, whatever you want to say, in any sport ever. Like
Ever,
he's just
yeah.
always in the news and he's like a coordinator. Like
I know he's terrible. Yeah, but yeah, the Chargers. I mean, the good news is that the Chargers have talent. It's not like they're going into next year like, damn, like we don't have anything. They
like who? Give me a team that's like that.
that's doesn't have talent.
Yeah,
What are you getting at, dude?
I just want to hear a team.
Okay, the Jets. I mean, what do you think, dude?
Oh,
But on the Patriots, I don't know. I have a lot of respect for yes, Bill Belichick, he's balling, but I got a lot of respect for Cam Newton. Like he's a winner, and he just cares about winning. Like we said, he's not throwing for a lot, but he rushed for didn't he rush for like 3 touchdowns?
he had 3 total touchdowns or something like that.
Dude, but he's just coming in and he's took that minimum deal. So I have a lot of respect for him I mean, he's an MVP and was in the Super Bowl at one point to put
Yeah.
like put your ego aside and come in and take the opportunity you're given and ball out. I mean not stats wise, but I'm sure I mean, I would much rather have his stats and win than have stats and suck. So
Yeah,
yeah, props to him.
definitely. Yeah, they could sneak into the playoffs. I mean, they're
That would
probably
be
I think
wild.
2 games out right now, but hey, think about this too. They're 6-6. The Bucks are, I believe, 7-5.
That is wild.
So I mean, a lot of people were talking, when Brady and them were hot, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're only 1 game difference right now.
And
And
low key,
you would definitely say the Bucks roster is 10 times better.
oh Jesus, yeah. That's gonna be a crazy storyline. But low key, I mean, I don't know who they'd play, but low key, nobody wants to see the Patriots in the first round as a wild card team
Yeah,
because,
just because of how Bill Belichick is. Like,
and they're just a weird team to play. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
Cam Newton just trucking people,
yeah,
typical. Next up, Eagles at Packers. I mean, the Eagles suck.
dude, they're bad. I love it.
They
I'm so
bench
happy.
they bench Carson Wentz
Yeah.
after he was 6 for 15 with 79 passing yards. I mean, they said they're starting Hurts next week. The Packers, this is another game they could just control. Aaron Rodgers, another 3 touchdown, 295 yards. Devontae Adams, 10 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean,
Dude, enough. I don't like hearing about the Packers. I don't like the Packers, dude.
you don't like the Packers?
Hell
Aaron
no.
Rodgers, he's from Chico. That's where
I know he is.
Aaron
That's
Rodgers
why
from.
I know y'all are probably best buddies. I don't like the Packers or Aaron Rodgers, dude. So it's just
Why not?
because do you not remember that game where Dez caught it? That was versus the Packers.
So is Aaron Rodgers' fault that Dez didn't catch it?
Yes, I saw him on the sideline talking with the refs. It came out. You didn't see the 30 for 30?
Yeah, I seen the 30 for 30 that it wasn't a catch.
No, it was a 30 for 30 about how Rodgers paid off the refs and he's like illegally still in the NFL.
Okay, all right.
No, but for real, hey, what are your thoughts on the Eagles benching Wentz? That's because he's getting paid like 30 million a year the next 3 years or something.
Yeah, I was watching First Take today, and they were kind of talking about it, and
The bowl of cereal.
I don't know. I don't know if Carson Wentz is this bad. Like like he was good. I don't know what happened to him, man. I
Not
don't know
this
what happened.
bad, but
Like they're talking about him going to the Bears though, and I think that wouldn't be a bad place for him.
that would be fantastic. Wait, so but the Bears would have to get off one of those contracts where they just trade that
Nick
man
Foles.
Foles back.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they said.
Dude, what if you led him to another Super Bowl? How wild would they build
Oh
another
no,
statue
no.
of him dapping himself up with the other statue they already have? That would be crazy. Dude, I haven't heard of that. I love that. That's great for both teams, I feel like, is it not?
Yeah, I mean
Well,
the
depending on
Bears.
how Hurts looks.
I mean, if the Bears don't have their first, I mean, it's either Sam Deasy or
Stop.
Carson Wentz.
Or is it like Mike down in Jacksonville? Mike
Or
Glennon?
Mike Glennon.
Dude, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, who? We're talking about Mike Glennon.
Wait, wasn't Mike Glennon in? No, he was in Tampa Bay. Did he ever? No, he might
Yeah,
have been in
dude,
Chicago at one point. Was he? Hold on, I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up.
dude, he was in Tampa, and those were some bad years for the Buccaneers.
Was he in Chicago though? I think he was in Chicago at some point.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Hold on. Yep, 2017. He was on Chicago.
Awesome. Well,
So
I'm
I
glad
mean,
we figured that out. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
he could go back to Chicago.
Go back home. Wait,
I
no. Why
mean,
did we bring him into the conversation?
because we're talking about the Bears could either get Carson Wentz or
Oh,
Sam Darnold.
oh yeah.
And you're like, or Mike Glennon. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, my fault. No
Like,
reunion, but no, that actually is. I mean, some other things would have to go into that, but that's a win-win. I feel like because you're right, Carson Wentz isn't this bad, and I don't think Nick Foles is that bad. Just Nick Foles is being forced in like a season starting position, and Carson Wentz, like, I don't know. I think it's with his mental. Like literally,
I mean,
he looks scared out there.
I think he just got because I mean, he gets sacked so much. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean that's part of it. Yeah, he's scared for his life, man.
yeah, I mean, but yeah,
I
I don't
like
know what.
Hurts. I liked him in college, dude. He's a
So
winner.
you think they should stick with Hurts?
I do in the sense of I think Hurts can be a long term QB. He reminds me of Dak a lot in the sense of I mean, this is kind of you can't really measure this stat, but he's just a leader. Like in college and through the draft process, like he's just like Dak. You just like he's a QB by
He got the
nature.
intangibles.
Yeah, and that's super important because it doesn't seem like Carson Wentz has that. There have been reports of him being kind of weird. I mean, not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like people, you know, um, but they just have to figure out that contract because you can't. You got to get off that contract if you're going to play Hurts. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I
It's a
mean,
weird
there
situation.
it seems like Carson Wentz is done in Philly. So,
That what a
um,
turn of events.
yeah. Um. Anyways, next game, Sunday Night Football.
I don't know what just happened.
Broncos at Chiefs. I mean, it doesn't get better
Man,
than this.
man,
Um,
mile high,
Mahomes. I mean, nothing's better than watching Mahomes throw a football. There's really nothing.
dude. There really is like so. So I was. I feel like I've always been a Lamar Jackson fan more than Mahomes because I just liked watching him last year. But dude, I'm watching Mahomes more and more because I've watched him some. I've watched highlights and stuff, but sitting down and literally just watching the entire game and like watching him, um, just everything, even the way he goes out to dinner and the way he eats like oysters. And I'm just kidding, no, but I mean, you're like, what the hell? No, but dude, his
Bro.
form, oyster, dude. Have you seen him? No, but
No.
steak fries, bro. But I'm telling you, dude, he is like he might be he's the best quarterback I've ever watched with my eyes.
Ever.
For real,
Ever.
ever. No, like Joe Montana, I don't care. Get him out of here. Steve Young, man, I don't care. Like Patrick Mahomes is
And
wild.
it's only what his. I mean, this is his third year
Dude,
starting
he's
now.
like 24, 25, and he's
Yeah,
going
this
to
is
play at least till he's 35. So he has 10 at least 10 more years. He's going to probably win like 19 Super Bowls. Not really. How many? He's won. My bad. One right now. Dude, he's gonna win. He's gonna win 4 or 5.
yeah. You don't think he passes Brady?
I mean, I think he can. I'm just saying, like the least. Like that's a starting point. That's a pretty
I
damn good
mean,
starting, bro. But Andy Reid, they're like a. It doesn't get better than that. It's like the perfect.
yeah,
We're gonna look back in 20 years.
yeah. I think like obviously Andy Reid's great and stuff, but I just hate
Whoa,
when people. No, I hate when people
get
take
off
that
my
away
man.
from. No, I hate when people take that away from Mahomes though, because they're like, oh well, it's Andy Reid and like the system,
Oh, what?
like
That
like
doesn't.
you
No.
like you got to literally like
Whack.
see one, Andy Reid has coached other quarterbacks and they're not doing what Mahomes is doing, and two, like just watch, like just watch
Just
Mahomes play. You know
watch.
what I mean? Like that's all you gotta do. Like just use your eyes. Like,
Like the
but
Chiefs never have like a negative yardage play. Like I mean, they probably do, but watching, it's like okay, that was the perfect throwaway. That was the perfect throw. Like, yeah, you just gotta watch. And that I don't know why they. If you really heard that about us, the system, that's wild.
some people say like, oh well, like no, like I mean it's the same people. It's funny because it's the same people that will say it's like if you debate like pretty much like it's been in debates where you're talking about Tom Brady like greatest. I'm gonna be like Mahomes can pass up Brady like as the best quarterback and stuff like that when people say it, and they're like no because Mahomes it's just because Andy Reid. But I mean if you would say that
Okay,
same argument for Brady with Belichick. But
yeah,
you know how
it's
you know how people are in arguments.
no, I get, I see what you mean now, and I mean it's literally just them working in tandem. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, some of his greatness is Andy Reid, and some of Andy Reid's greatness now is Mahomes. It works both ways. Like, and I mean, big props to Andy Reid from transferring to being the face of Pringles right into coaching. I mean, I just play my
All
fault.
right, yeah, but this is
Who's
actually
gonna
a close.
beat the Chiefs, dude?
No one, no one. I mean, this was a close game though.
I know, but dude, even it
22 to
didn't. See,
16.
you knew the Chiefs are gonna win.
Yeah, Mahomes had 300 passing yards. Kelsey.
Dude, that thing I say of Drew Lock is so funny. It's so true. That man throws for like
That
a
man,
15 yard and you're like pop lock and drop it.
yeah, Drew Lock is hilarious. I don't know what's up with that man, bro. That man is wild, bro. I don't know what he be doing.
Dude.
But we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
Alright.
And we got the game. This was a game we called would be a good one. Washington versus Pittsburgh.
Bro.
Pittsburgh loses finally. If you watch our show, I know the thousands of people that watch our show every week
Hello out there.
heard us call that the Washington football team would beat the Steelers. Um, I mean, the Steelers, they haven't looked great the last couple weeks. They have no running game right now. Obviously, Connor's been
None.
out. But Alex Smith had a good game, threw for 296 yards. Gibson got hurt early in this game,
Hmm.
and yeah, 296 yards. And McLaurin, his best receiver, only had 2 catches and 14 yards.
That
So
man Logan Thomas balled
I
out
know
again.
I think we talked about him last
Yeah,
week, and he had a game. He had like 8 or 9 receptions for 90 something yards and a touchdown. So but Alex Smith, I mean, he's definitely comeback player of the year. I mean, it's an awesome
dude.
story
Yeah.
seeing how bad his injury was. I mean,
What?
if you weren't what?
He said it was an awesome story seeing how bad his injury was.
I
Come
mean,
on,
like
man.
it's an awesome story, like the comeback story of
Oh,
him
okay.
after his
Yeah.
injury, like
You
how
just gotta
bad his
phrase
injury
that
was.
different.
Yeah, I just gotta say that a little differently. But
Dude,
but
he's a
like
warrior. I would
that's
not
what I'm
come
saying.
back.
That's what I'm saying. It's an awesome story off that. But
Okay, sure. Bro, did he was bleeding this game too out his
yeah, he
ankle?
got
I'm
cleated. Yeah, he
like,
got
my
cleated.
God, dude, this man is like he's tougher than me. I would not go back out there. And he's still
Yeah,
like he's a
I thought it was
good
gonna be
QB.
I thought it was gonna be bad when he went back. Cause like
Yeah,
just watching videos before, it's just like no way this dude's going to try to play football,
for
bro. Like just
sure.
give it up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a comeback story, man. He's gonna be
Damn,
a comeback
just give
story.
it up. What's wrong with you? I'm glad you weren't helping him with his PT when he was getting back. Nice, just give it up. Golly, what's wrong with you? You just gotta you just gotta stop talking.
I mean,
No, but let's
have
just
you
get
seen
back to the game.
did you see the pictures? Like,
Yeah, no, he went through a lot. I'm like,
he,
props to him.
there ain't no way I'm going through that.
Oh no, I would I would have
I'll
picked a
play
different.
Madden. I'll make myself in Madden and just play. There's no way. But yeah, the Steelers. I mean, they've looked bad recently. Not bad, but
But
not
they
undefeated.
look like they can get beat in the playoffs if they don't have a good game. They look beatable. I will say that. Even though
Yeah,
they're undefeated, they look beatable for sure. And
yeah.
this is what we talked about. Washington, they're set up for the future. I don't know what else they need, but their defense was looking good.
Yeah, they
Like their
look
D
good.
line is crazy.
Yeah, obviously Chase Young
Is
is
wait,
different. I mean, I heard
he's in the rookie of the year running. Do they do offensive and
defense. They
defensive?
do offense and defense.
Okay,
They do
cool.
offense and defense.
Then I think he's yeah.
They might get it. But I think Mike Tomlin, there's something he said like he never wants to be in a position to draft like someone as good as you to Chase Young or something like that. So
Yeah. I mean,
shows his
sure.
greatness. But yeah, Steelers finally dropped a game, and Washington they're tied for first in the NFC East. So I think they'll probably win it. I don't believe in the Giants with
They
Colt McCoy.
they deserve it.
They're
they're
the better
the
team.
for sure, and they're the team I most believe giving somebody problems in the playoffs. Not that they will, but I could see the Washington's
You'd rather watch the Washington
for
football team
sure,
than the Giants.
100%. Yeah.
So you don't want to see Colt McCoy or Daniel Jones in the playoffs.
No, not unless they are on. I don't know. I was trying to think of something bad to say about him, but I'm gonna just let him live. But no, dude, if I have to see Jason Garrett clapping ass in the playoffs, I'm just talking about clapping like that. No, dude. All right, let's try
Oh,
this game.
no. No way.
He said time out. I meant his happy clapping self is what I meant to say. That was a bad phrase. Let's just go to the
No,
next
bro. This episode.
Hey, go to the next game so I can go back and frame.
All right, next game, bro. We got the Bills at the Niners. I mean the Niners. Obviously, we talked about it a lot. They have so many injuries, but Josh Allen just kills the Niners. He was just picking them apart.
Uh,
375 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, what you got for me on this Monday night game?
um, dude, I may have to, I may have to step away. No, but yeah, the Bills are because whenever the Bills drafted Josh Allen, a lot of people were kind of iffy. Like,
Yeah,
hey, maybe Josh Darnold's going to turn out better, but Josh Allen looks good. He's one of the another he's another QB that's not near Patrick Mahomes, but just the eye test. Like
Yeah,
he looks like he's confident. He's making better decisions because I know that was a knock on him, like just being kind of
he
wild.
makes yeah, he makes a lot. He like tries to make a lot of big plays. I mean, I
Yeah,
like there's that one last year was super bad where he like tried to like
bro. Did he do like a
pitch it
helicopter?
back to something.
Oh,
No,
he
he tried to
pitched
like
it
pitch
back.
it back to something. I don't know. He tried to do something crazy, and it was like, what are you doing? But it was like him trying to be a hero.
Yeah,
And then you have like him, like you said, the helicopter one. Like he gives it all, man. But yeah,
but
the
I like
Bills.
it.
Yeah, exactly. The Bills have been really good this year. Um, the Niners, just all the injuries. Nick Mullins, I mean, he said something about being a starter in this league. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know about that, Chief.
all right. All
All
right.
right. Okay, and
All right. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's not much else to talk about this game. So let's move on to the Cowboys and the Ravens, though. This is the best rushing offense versus the worst rushing defense.
okay, you don't say it though.
The Ravens ran for 294 rushing yards. Lamar had another one of his games where he throws for like 100 passing yards. He broke free for a touchdown. I mean, what do you got? This is your team, Cowboys. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, part of it is the sanctions the NFL put on the Cowboys. They let the Ravens do that. It was through like a mutual agreement for ratings. I think it was. They said, "Hey, Cowboys, give up 250 plus rushing yards. We'll give y'all another draft pick." So we took it. That was a good trade off. Would you not take that?
that's not what happened.
Dude, the Cowboys suck, dude. He ran that play, and this man Vander Esch started running over here, and the ball was like over here.
And
I
that
was
was,
like,
I
what
was
is he
like, all
looking
right.
at?
So I had Lamar in fantasy, and I need like 36 points to win, right? So he didn't give me that enough points. But like when I seen that play, I was so happy because I was like, bro, dude had an easy tackle, and he just like running away, and then he looks back, and Lamar's just gone. I was like, he got faked out that bad. But
Cowboys suck, and it sucks because they have a good team.
yep, try again next year though.
Okay, dude. I wish Greg Williams would have not called that engage eight and beat y'all. But you're lucky,
Oh, I we wouldn't have done the show this week. Um,
dude. It's bad. We need Dak back. I
yeah.
don't have any faith seeing old Firehead take his helmet off and smile like we're not getting whooped. Andy Dalton, man, come on, show some passion or anger.
All right. Let's go to the standings though. We haven't really talked about it in a while. So start with the AFC. You have the Chiefs leading the AFC West at 11-1. Them and the Steelers are the top seeds in the AFC. They're fighting for that bye. Steelers obviously also 11-1. The AFC East is the Bills are leading it by a game at 9-3, and the AFC South it's tied between Titans and Colts, but I think the Titans might have the tiebreaker. Um, Wild card, the top wild card in the AFC is the Browns at 9-3, the Dolphins 8-4, and then the Colts or the Titans, whichever one's not win the division, it's 8-4 for the wild card. So that leaves the Raiders out at 7-5, the
Got
Ravens
it. Mm-hmm.
out at 7-5, I believe, and then the Patriots 6-6, and though everyone else is pretty much out of it. So um, that's three teams that are trying to get in there.
Yeah.
Obviously the Raiders
So,
and the Ravens have a better chance than the Patriots. But
yeah.
moving on to the NFC, you have the Saints leading the division or the conference at 10-2. Obviously, they're winning the division. The NFC South. Packers leading the NFC North at 9-3. The Rams actually leading the NFC West, I believe, at 8 and
Mm,
4, and the Giants leading the NFC East, but they're tied with the Washington football team. So one of those could end up getting it. And then wild card wise, you actually have the Seahawks or the Rams. Obviously, they're tied. So one
yeah.
of them at 8-4, which is kind of a lot different than the AFC where
AFC.
you have like three teams that are 8-4 and above. And the NFC, it's only the Seahawks. And then the next wild card is the Bucks at 7-5. And the third one is actually 6-6 between the Cardinals and Vikings. I mean, who would have thought?
Yeah, that's so
So six and
weird.
so think about it. 6-6 right now gets you in the playoffs in the NFC, but Patriots are 2 games out in the AFC at 6-6. So
but it's like those teams shouldn't be have those records. Like the Buccaneers getting a wild card
Seven and
spot,
five.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And actually, technically, Giants or Washington could get the wild card.
Dude, I know, my God.
They're only a game out.
I know, that's so bad though. That's terrible.
And then you technically actually still have the Niners, Bears, and Lions all a game
Cowboys,
out.
yeah.
No,
Oh,
no, the Cowboys aren't in that conversation.
dude, I hope the Raiders don't get in for real so they can sit at
I
home with
mean, we
us.
would be in if we're in the NFC.
Will you be in if we're in the AFC? Probably.
No, that's not no.
No, maybe. We don't know our
No.
schedule. It might have changed. All right, no. Let's go to next week's games.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we're getting into next. A lot of big games. We have a lot of games highlighted. The first game, Thursday Night Football, Patriots and Rams. Obviously, talking about the standings, Patriots need this win to stay in the conversation,
Yeah.
and the Rams need to stay ahead in the division. Obviously, you want that. I mean, I guess it don't matter as much, but you want to play at home, I guess. But now it doesn't matter because there's no fans. So,
Yeah.
um, but that's a big game, Thursday Night Football. Next Sunday, you got Vikings at Buccaneers. This is actually two wildcard teams right now.
Wow. Yeah. They're close.
Or Vikings are tied. Yeah, they're only one game. So if the Vikings win this game, they I'd assume would be over the Bucks and would get a wild card spot right now.
Wow.
So
That's
that's
actually
kind of crazy.
the Bucks are
Yeah,
coming off a bye, so it'll be interesting to see what they've done.
yeah. I mean, they need to figure something out because they've been struggling. Next up, Chiefs at Dolphins. This is a two playoff teams right now,
That's
and it should
wow.
be and it should be fun to see the Dolphins defense against Mahomes. Obviously, they've been great, but it's Mahomes.
We'll
So
see.
um, next up, Cowboys Bank. Dude, why'd you highlight Cowboys Bengals, bro?
Dude, I really didn't mean to.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was like, I don't remember doing that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm just kidding.
I literally
Nah,
was like, huh, did I? I mean, it might be a good game. Who knows?
nah. Actually, hold on. It's the return of Andy Dalton against the Bengals.
Dude, this should be a bigger storyline. That's what I'm saying. A
Nah,
Cincinnati folklore. He's a
nah.
Cincinnati superhero.
You didn't highlight. I'm just kidding. But
F you.
uh, next up, Colts and Raiders. This is actually a big game because the
It
Raiders
should,
lose, we're done. But if we
yeah.
win, we're right back in it. We'd be tied with the Colts, record wise. So,
Colts are gonna win though, so it doesn't
um,
really matter.
hopefully, no, the Raiders are gonna figure it out. And we're gonna win. So, and then Sunday Night Football, Steelers, Bills. I mean, this is a big one. Who you
Yeah,
got in this one right now?
I got the Bills, man. The Bills are got the mojo, and the
And Steelers
Steelers
dropped two in a row.
don't. Yeah, I think they're gonna drop two in a row.
Then that'll be big for the Chiefs because they get that bye.
What's wild is if they do, and the Browns are sneaking up.
Yep, and that's the last game we have is Monday Night Football, Ravens at Browns.
That's
We on that one.
big.
The Ravens is a must win for the Ravens.
I got the Browns, dude.
You got the
The
Browns.
Ravens can't. They can't pass well, and it's not even all on Lamar Jackson. Like the receivers are, yeesh. And the Browns are similar, and then that they have a really good running game, but Baker's shown us he can pass at least a little bit. So
So you're telling me Lamar Jackson's cheeks.
no, dude, I love Lamar. I'm just saying that like what they have for him, he doesn't have a Jarvis Landry where you know if you throw it to him, like he's gonna go up and get it. Like he doesn't have that,
Mark Andrews.
dude. I don't care about Mark Andrews. He's
Yeah,
a fisherman.
I actually got the Ravens winning this game. I think they need
Uh,
it more than the Browns. I think somehow Lamar figures it out and
hmm.
he gets it done. I mean, they need it bad. They need to
They
win bad.
100% need it.
So I'm gonna take him. But I mean that's all we have for this episode. I think we're done. We went through the standings. I mean, we got a lot of good games this week. That Cowboy game, I mean, is can't miss. I mean, Andy Dalton back versus the Bengals. Like you couldn't ask for more prime time. They should probably flex out the Sunday night football game. Um,
Yeah, so Indianapolis and Las Vegas, two big American cities. It's the American dream, really, watching the Colts and Raiders clash up in a Sunday afternoon game where the Raiders get out of the playoffs. So it should be must see TV. Um, yeah.
all right, we're gonna have to end it there.
All right. Hey, but let's give them a little. Are we going to go live on Saturday for the Western Conference NBA?
Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we can go live and we'll do Western Conference preview. If you haven't already checked out our Eastern Conference preview, the West is going to be a lot more
It's gonna be a long
fun to talk about. I don't know exactly when we'll go live, but we'll figure something out.
in the next week. We'll go.
Yeah, in the next week.
So
All right. Well, that's all we got on this one.
let's
Hope
go
to see
Cowboys.
y'all in the next.